Hey guys, Martin here, bringing you another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video. And so we just got the update in the news on Global to say that a new stage of the challenge event is coming soon, and that is of course the birth of the Shadow Dragons event. The event will now be unavailable starting from the 15th, so now essentially the event is unavailable, and stage 8 will be added. So this of course is the Omega Shenron stage that Global has been waiting for so long. This being added of course only means one thing. So I'm sorry, the start date, this is when the news was posted, so preparation period is starting from the 16th of the 1st, so I'm assuming that means reset tonight. So the event is still available. I was going to say that there's not exactly people clamoring to play it, I guess, today, right? If you haven't done Sin already, why not, I guess. But Omega stage is going to be added. Now we can tell straight away these things are only ever added into the news in the morning, or at least it's morning for me, right? 6:30 AM UK, so it's late in the evening for you guys in the US. These things are added into the news 48 hours before they get added into the game. So this essentially confirms that on Wednesday morning or late Tuesday evening for the US, this stage is being added to the game. But it's not just this stage, is it? Because we all know what the release of this stage means, and that of course means the release of AGL Omega Shenron. So Omega Shenron, the only Carnival LR missing from JP to Global. Bit of a divisive release, I would say, LR Omega Shenron is, because the unit himself as a standalone unit is pretty good. He has damage reduction, he can hit really hard, he has a revival. He's one of these characters that like post revive becomes incredibly powerful. The only problem is that he is a Carnival LR for 200% to GT bosses, which is not a particularly great team. He's by far the best unit on that team, but he requires GT bosses allies in order to build up part of his passive, which is to give himself damage reduction, which of course very powerful defensive ability. When he's on a full GT bosses team and he has that full passive, he can be very, very good. The only problem of course is that most of the rest of the team is not. So let me know what you guys think down below. I know I have actually seen some people in the community, like in the streams over the last couple of months, who have been looking forward to the release of Omega Shenron, but this essentially confirms his release on Wednesday morning, the 17th of January for UK time, late on the 16th for the US. Crazy to think, you can see it came out in July on JP. The Part 2 Tanabata LR very often gets lost in the shuffle with the changes to the JP's, the global schedule from JP. Same thing happened with Janemba, the year that Tech Gogeta was the Tanabata LR. Last year it was Golden Frieza who got displaced as the Part 2 LR from the Resurrection of F Blue Boys. And both of those LRs ended up getting moved to this time slot in the middle of January. So that is when we are going to see his release on Wednesday morning. And we can see here, this is the Tanabata celebration on JP from July. And we can see here, new stage added to the challenge event was on the 20th of July, and the release of the Omega Carnival banner was on the 20th of July. So we've been knowing for a long time that when we finally get Omega Shenron, we get the new stage for the Shadow Dragon event. And I think that's the main thing that people have been waiting for, right? A lot of people just not really too bothered about summoning for Omega Shenron, but a lot of people more so looking forward to the release of the new stage of the challenge event, because this essentially becomes one of the new hardest stages in the game, right? Like the relevant bosses to test out new units against is essentially Fusion Tommaso and then Omega, because I've definitely seen myself as a content creator for Global making videos and things like that. Nobody really cares about Sin Shenron as a stage anymore, and we've all been patiently waiting on Global to get Omega to cut our teeth against. Now, Omega is very similarly designed to Sin. He has the 3 stages. The first stage can be attack lowered, and funnily enough, the first stage actually disables dodge, which is very different to the previous one. but it's 3 stages. The second stage starts to do AoEs, but they're not as powerful. First stage is tech, second stage is STR. Interestingly, compared to the previous stage with Sin, the second stage can actually heal as well, which is quite interesting. And then the third phase is the big one, just like physical Sin. The Int Omega can do AoEs that are quite powerful. Doesn't have, can't have any of the status effects applied. But also his super attack has a 40% defense debuff. So just like the physical Sin, that's basically the reason why he's able to hit your units so hard. Is not only is he attacking for a pretty significant amount of damage, but he's lowering the defense of your characters as well. So characters who get their defense largely from just having raw defense stats and not having damage reduction or guard or anything like that, even if you've built up a little bit of defense with them, obviously units that have stacked up to a crazy high amount can still take it reasonably well, but units who would normally be able to tank a super reasonably well with like the bare minimum raw defense required, they will suffer heavily against this Omega because of that defense debuff in his super attack effect. So that's something to watch out for. Let me know what you guys think down below. I might make a video sort of breaking down the event before it comes out as like a sort of guide thing, or to be fair, like as a global player, like I've tried it out on the private server a couple of times with some of the units over there when I've been doing like JP unit showcases and stuff. So I'm kind of tempted to just jump in like when it comes out on global, right? Because I've not really properly played through it, especially not with my own teams, right? So I'm definitely very much looking forward to this coming out. It does drop with a couple of missions, although well, I know for a fact it has the clear stage 8 and you get 5 stones. You obviously get 1 for beating it for the first time anyway because it's a new stage. It does have 2 missions here, beating it with a full power team and beating it with a final trump card team. Not 100% sure if those are available on release, but those give you some skill orbs. And then if we go back to the celebration, I'm going to do a video breaking down everything that will come out with Omega Shenron. But one thing to remember is unless they make any changes, and I do have some thoughts about that, his banner is not particularly desirable. Now obviously for global, I think we will continue the trend of getting tickets that you can purchase from the shop. So obviously if you're someone who spends, or you're like a collector or content creator like me where you are essentially going to summon for anything, the tickets will definitely come in handy. But as you can see from the list of featured units when this banner came out on JP, if they don't go ahead and change this banner at all, then it's really not an attractive prospect to most players. You would think that they would want to change it to get people to summon, but we all said that about Tech Trunks, and they left his banner completely unchanged. They didn't give any discounts, they didn't give any step-ups with guaranteed feature, nothing like that, right? So very interestingly, his banner was unchanged, so it remains to be seen whether Omega's banner will change at all. But all we know is that with the announcement of the new stage of the Shadow Dragon event coming, this guarantees the release of Omega Shenron, and this will be, as I say, Wednesday morning for the UK, the 17th, and late on Tuesday evening on the 16th for the US, depending on which time zone you're in, right? Because PST 8 hours behind me, so it'll be 10:30 PM on Tuesday. EST, it's like 1:30 AM on Wednesday for you, and then for me it's 6:30 AM on Wednesday. So let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. Are you going to be summoning for Omega Shenron? Do you only care about the update for the event and actually being able to do the Omega boss? Let me know all of that down below in the comment section. So that is going to be it for the video, guys. This has been the Masked Ningen. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Check out the links down below for the Discord and the merch store, and I will see you all again soon. Have a good one.